Cringe Crew, they still really need a win. They've got one more game to do against Panthera now. Let's go in to pick some bans.
Cubo Fred's in a bad spot. That's going to be a 2 for 0 so far as Dimi comes in with a huge ultimate, stunning 2 and killing 1.
emilitoo was looking for the kill there. Oh,
This guy's not human.
focus onto Lobster instead. He's trying to get the
Show!
ball, but that
No!
And into picks and bans we go. Panthera, though, will be first pick, first ban this time round. And Panthera, they weren't scared of Susano to play against it. And I doubt they're going to see them ban it this time then either.
I mean, here's Cringe Crew. They could take a gamble. They could leave Susano open, but I think it's the same thing where...
I'd love to see adapting on that god.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, they could take the gamble, like, is Panthera, do they just want to play against it? But I feel like if it was open, adapting would want to play it as well.
You need a win against Panthera, and you leave Susano open, you're asking for trouble. Asking for
That's like a meme. That's
asking for trouble.
It's
Want to go to DreamHack?
He's like
feels bad.
He's like the reverse Nemesis. Their character models are pretty similar too, where it's like, why would you pick Nemesis? Why would you not ban Susano?
Nemesis and Scylla taken off. They have left Najan
It's gonna be
available there,
Susano.
but they don't want that combo coming out from Cringe Crew. Final ban from Cringe Crew, and it should be Susano.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not going to take that gamble.
I was just like, I was really good. Like, if Cringe Crew loses,
I
I'm
really
like,
want to see
look
adapting on
back.
that god. I would love
Maybe it
to
will.
see him on it.
Maybe at Worlds. However, Thor is available. Kepri is also available, as is Yammyn's Janus.
Never go wrong with this. This was Panthera's first pick option for a lot of the summer split here. Cringe Crew going to respond, taking Thor away from adapting.
Give it over to Repi, but Ninja is on the table, and I think we'll see him maybe go to that one here, especially because he's one of the ones he doesn't mind doing. Fenrir as well. Cringe Crew, though, looking for support. It's going to be the Athena again for EmilZy.
And the Athena, I mean, it really didn't have much of an impact in the game. It was more team fights. We saw a couple nice taunts, but everything else seemed to be set up. A lot of it was Panthera over-aggressing into situations more than EmilZy making aggressive plays.
Like I say, globals for both teams here is Panthera now looking back to themselves. Apollo available for emilitoo if he wants to go that route once more this
Apollo
time around.
Naja might not be bad, but it's going to be the Kuang. They could be looking for the Kepri as well, but I mean, they're not going to assume that Kepri will be picked up by Cringe Crew with Athena already locked in.
Not particularly, no, but I don't think we'll mind seeing iRaffer potentially pick up the Kepri one more time. He could go for the Bacchus option though if he wants a little bit more aggression, especially because Kuang not the best at CC chaining or setting things up for the team, just an individual killer.
And Panthera here. It is going to be the Bacchus, so... I mean, Bacchus is just so good, right?
I expected that with Kuang though, just because they needed some sort of CC setup, and one of the best supports for doing that is Bacchus.
Yeah, the other option would be Sobek here, which could be good into this composition, but it's just having that Bacchus damage really strong. Cringe Crew, they're going to grab Guan, likely to be the solo laner Axioz. We've seen him play it well before.
We have. It's good sustain as well. So already Cringe Crew, very good amount of CC and control in this game. Panthera a little bit more flexible in the mobility, I want to say, as a whole team here. Is Odin banned by Cringe Crew, very respectable, especially against Guan Yu. You don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, and I mean, Cringe Crew grabbing Thor and Guan Yu are very good against the Bacchus. Both have channeled spells that they're immune to knockups during, so they're going to have, if their mechanics are on point, they're going to be able to counter out a lot of the engage coming out from Panthera here. Panthera looking to ban away gods in this second phase. They should target out mages potentially, but it's going to be hunters, locking Hou-Yi away from Shaggy.
This happened game one as well. There was a lot of hunter focus in the counterban phase against both of them, and they both got relatively good hunters. Rama and Apollo, both very, very viable. I don't think it's easy to ban out actual hunters in this game.
No.
And there's just too many available.
A lot of it's just
viable.
Flavors too, where each player will have, they'll all have a Hou-Yi, they'll all have, an Apollo, but it's like, I prefer Kronos and Ram, or I prefer Artemis or Jingwei.
I'm thinking about it, Shaggyshenk has played Cupid this season as well, over in the Hunter role for Cringe Crew, so it's in his god pool too to go very, very deep if he needs to.
Actually, Cupid is actually pretty good against Panthera's comp. Obviously, Bacchus, he's not going to be able to jump away. Kuang as well will be slowed inside it, potentially chased down into the jungle, and then Janus, the cripple as well against his portals, could be very strong. I don't know if Cringe Crew are looking to do it, but that's not a bad option here.
It's not a bad option at all. The last ban coming through from Panthera, where are they going to end up focusing onto here? I expect another Hunter potentially here. No, it will be Ra this time round. So I guess they're really worried about the taunt combo of Scylla and taunt combo of Ra.
And I mean, we've seen Kero run it before. It hasn't been picked up too often this year. However, you can see 8%.
It could just be the word about double sustain as well as being a real bad option to deal with Guan Yu as well as around the team. Oh, that feels revolting
be
to
hell,
play
man.
against. Yeah.
You know, Hell would get destroyed against Panthera's comp.
Well,
Bacchus
Hell
into
hasn't been played
Outclog.
this season yet.
I don't think she
One
will
of
be.
the only three.
I actually thought she would have been recently, but it's so risky to run her. That's the only problem.
Well, something not risky to run is Neith. Very, very safe in the laning phase. Very, very safe throughout the game, and can have yet another global to the side of Cringe Crew.
This is global boys right now for Cringe Crew. Just have these massive, and honestly, Raw would have been a really good pick in the Cringe Crew's comp as well. Probably not the best when it comes to team fighting, but they could have just looked to set up a ton of early kills, just get a bunch of pickoffs and snowball a lead.
Some Wukong over in the solo lane for Ninja Dimi this game, more than likely here. And some Wukong, the rise to fame of this warrior over in the solo lane, one of the most winningest warriors in the SPL right now so far this season. And he just slowly but steadily made it that way.
Hey man, it's Divios. Divios is actually the innovator of solo lane.
But it's not just Divios, it's like multiple people have played
No, but Divios
now.
was the first one to bring it back once again consistently. Same with Robin. No one was picking Robin, and then he just started rolling over teams the first couple weeks. Like, oh man, Robin's pretty good. Let's pick him.
Well, this time around, emilitoo was like, okay, Shaggyshenk, you had your turn on Rama. It's my turn, my friend. What are you going to do in response? Like, potentially an Anher wouldn't be too bad here because the match was pretty good.
I mean, yeah, if they want to run that Neith mid and just have the double Hunter composition, but it's a little bit risky. I do expect the Neith to be Hunter here, and it's going to be a Soul. Okay, so this could be Soul and Duo and Neith mid.
Yeah, I think that could be the case as well. I just had an idea about that with the Neith because it's very strange to see it over in the Duo all the time these days because you don't see it as strong
a
as
lot
the
of times
Hunters.
you'll see it. You have seen it in the mid
in Europe,
significantly.
Especially in Europe as well. But there we go. Straight into game we are. Panthera, one win away from, well, causing issues for Cringe Crew's chances of going to DreamHack.
If they lose this game, then everything is reliant on Hunger for More dropping a game against Leftovers. Repikas here caught in the jungle. Dimi not electing to get his ability yet. Could have looked for the Tiger stun if he really wanted to, but wants to make sure he has Jingo Bang for the camps. Was it too trusting in his reaction time to just hit that stun mid-hammer throw?
Good question. He's going to be fine. And now with that, Repikas will go back to base, pick up his Bomber's Mask. And where's he going to go? He's going to go for the Power Potion at the beginning of this game. No Power Potion on the side of Panthera this game at the start, as emilitoo gets the first hit of the day as a Hunter, which guarantees he wins the game.
Man, that's brutal. Just to lose the game that fast, just getting hit by Ram there in the jungle.
So many people don't realize how much that first Hunter arrow it means if you can hit somebody.
It's the same with the GG and the Rip emotes. They're cursed, man.
And that's why Dust is the most dangerous Hunter because he probably did that in the game, got the first auto.
He probably he got a double kill too right after that. He was feeling himself
the First
there.
Blood Prince is what people
First
call him
Blood
now.
Prince, are you serious?
I'm going to call it him the whole time, the First Blood Prince. Anyway, back to this one. Panthera going to start off pretty standard blue buff for them into speed buff, which you're going to get adapted into mid lane a little bit quicker. Meanwhile, Axioz and Repikas, they're going to do speed into blue and see Repikas help out soak the wave of experience in solo and then pick up the fire ants.
And the difference here is doing blue to speed hurts your solo laner, but if you feel very confident that they're going to be able to match the clear, it's fine. And it gets your jungler to the mid camps and the mid wave faster, so they have a little bit of an experience bonus. You can see Repikas is going to be sharing the wave. However, Cringe Crew, they're losing these mid harpies on right.
We've seen this a couple of times out of the solo lane, is that they will soak up the mid harpies first of all before heading to lane. Needs to be careful on the rotation here though. Dimi back to solo just in case he gets picked, but not recognizing it with Cringe Crew. They were more focused on the fire.
And the big thing here is that Dimi only loses 2 creeps of experience, and that's the big one, right? Losing gold early is not the end of the world. It's pretty fine. You're going to be able to recover, but losing experience is where it gets dangerous. So he recoups that with the mid camps.
Full wave clear from Panthera comes out early. There is Dimi going very aggressive in an awkward spot there. He overextended himself in the bluestone. Well, it hurt him more than it helped.
No, yeah, that got very dangerous for him, but he has a full wave now, and he's throwing the poke back onto Axioz, who's going to be pressured under his tower. Left-hand side, once again, Panthera's dual lane is getting pushed.
Interesting, Axioz not going for multi-potions here in this game, gone for +2 wards instead of his inventory over in the solo lane. Now, normally you see the multi-potions for the extra sustain in the poke war early on, but Axioz feeling himself here, and I think that's why we see adapting over here early as well to try and pressure him more, knowing he's not got as much sustain.
I'm thinking Axioz wished he had placed those wards right now. That's what he's thinking. He's like, man, I wish I had placed those wards.
Well, he's got one down. He's got one down near his blue buff area there.
I mean, the whole idea was that once the first set of wards fade off, you want to replace them because you're not going back to base anytime soon. And that's what adapting did. He waited until, when he ganked him, he waited until his wards fell off and then ganked him. But unfortunately, Axioz not expecting the level 3 out Kuang.
It is a risk-reward doing that on Axioz. I can understand the mentality of not taking the multi-potions. You don't really need them on Guan Yu, but if you get heavily poked or focused, they really do keep you alive.
And that's what Sun Wukong is really good at, and how we see him control a lot of the lane, if you're looking at Divios' playstyle, is trade your potions just to get poke on the opponent, right? It's like clear the wave, but make sure you hit your opponent as well. You're going to take a ton of damage, and maybe have to back early, but you get yourself out of a rough early game.
Axioz knows this time round because both wards are down from his level 4 now and adapting camping the solo lane here. Very reminiscent of old Weaken and the boys of Envy helping Cyclone Spin. I think that's what Panthera realized here is Axioz is a major threat.
I mean, he was in game 1 here. Repikas trying to get these Harpies, and he goes to it, or he doesn't go to his hammer, barely managed to get out.
They do catch Repikas, who will, like you said, get away, but he'll have to return to base at level 5, which means a bit of a power play of a 4v5 advantage for Panthera. Going to head to mid lane and adapt in, looking for poke on Kero. Not going to find it, but he will help clear the wave.
And he's going to back off to safety there, but Repikas, unfortunately, forced back to base before he has enough gold to finish his Boots 3. Not something he wants to see, and adapting has actually gone into a Dynasty Plate Helm start, so looking to get a little tanky early on after finishing off his Shoes of the Magi.
I think he's a little bit worried about getting hit by a World Weaver followed by a Thor follow-up. Could quite easily happen across the map.
I mean, that's what really needs to happen. Cringe Crew have this pick-based comp. They have EmilZy and Shaggyshenk, the global dual lane. Then they have Repikas, who can come out from the jungle. If they're waiting for team fights, they're waiting to lose.
Well, talking about the Neith on Shaggyshenk here, gone for the throwing dagger start, which we've started to see drop a little bit in terms of transcendence for the extra power spike here. But so much wave clear coming out from him. It does impact his power spikes, though, for his ultimates.
And mid-camp's going to be picked up here by Yammyn. Getting a little bit scared and backing off, but no one from Cringe Crew responding. Yeah,
there's no reason to at the moment. He's going to try and farm on mid lane. Left Harpy is about to be done as well. And you can see Raph is already in position here, looking to try and clear these up. Bought rotation from Repikas. Has he got a double tap available to look for him? Well, right at the same time, they actually intoxicate just to secure those there, I believe, did Raffer.
And Panthera, they don't want to fight, right? This is, the later they go, the better their team comp comes. This is, oh, Raffer. His jumps up, though. He's going to be fine. No one was even close.
EmilZy was on his own there. But
it's just scaring him away.
He was getting the Talaria proc. That's what it was.
This is what I see a lot from teams when they face Panthera. They may not think they're scared, but they play a little bit scared because Cringe Crew have drafted a comp that is very good at getting early kills, right? Just surprising someone with globals, and then from that they can snowball into invades. If they're trying to get to teamfight phase, it is not going to be good for them. The Kuang, the Bacchus, and the Janus is going to do so much.
He's going to get bursted because Adapting's on the way as well. And what Repi did there was he threw out the hammer. He knew it was on cooldown, and then he started juking, trying to avoid Dimi. But by juking around, waiting for that Tiger to come up, it set it up for Adapting to come in with a speed buff and help secure the kill.
I mean, Cringe Crew, they just didn't want to burn Thor ult right there. Repi just wanted to save it. He thought he could get out for free, but now, I mean, not only did he get poked out earlier, but right there, going to find himself dead.
Nice little backflip coming out from Shaggyshenk. emilitoo still trying to go aggressive here, get a bit of poke damage off, but it is against the Neith. Those shots were hitting home quite painfully.
And emilitoo there, just showing off his mechanics. Rotation coming in from EmilZy, but iRaffer is going to block it out. And Shaggy gets no help from his support right there.
Yeah, Rafi's spent a long time on this left-hand side. He's got no Intoxicate available at the moment. He's still looking to gank Shaggy, though. Shaggy's not recognized it just yet. He will when the belch hits his face.
Oh, that's
flips
bad.
off, flop on his face. Good purification, though, to avoid the knock-up, and an ultimate from EmilZy is good. But is it enough damage to survive? It is, you know.
Just barely.
He will live, and you know why? I believe, was that a meditation use? No, there was no meditation use there. He just had enough to survive.
And you could see there, emilitoo hits the first 2 shots onto the Neith. However, the damage reduction was good from the Athena, and he waited out the Neith, or he waited out the Athena ult so he could potentially have more damage to finish him off. And he connects it. It just was just short.
I think the Unravel came out.
I think that's what it was.
A health spike, and I couldn't work out where it was. That's why I thought meditation. But Axioz 2v1 up against Dimi here. So Dimi 2v1
the problem is
the
problem is Axioz is the 2 and still losing. Repikas going back to base once again. He is just getting pressured so much this match.
And Repi going back to base with the speed buff coming up. Adapting could look for that. I don't think they recognize the timer on it all. They don't realize it's going to be up right now. Instead, they're looking for the fire imps, and they'll get them, but they could have potentially got a speed there instead.
Yeah, Adapting there a little bit unaware of the speed buff timer, I think. So you're just going to play it safe. picks up the fire elementals, gets the blue buff as well, and then he's going to get his own speed. Left-hand side, Shaggy, no purification this time. emilitoo trying to find the shots as iRaffer tanks it up, but they back off. They're not exactly sure where Repi was. He was in his own jungle doing the speed, but they had to be wary of it.
It's also emilitoo didn't have much mana left either was the big thing. He could have rolled in for the kill potentially if he waited to follow up, but if he did, that would have been all she wrote for him. emilZy going to get away from the belch stun coming out from Raffer there. emilitoo clears the wave, hitting level 9 now. We'll be able to go back and get full boots as Dimi continuing to apply pressure to the Guan Yu.
And this is a pretty massive lead coming up from Panthera, looking at the key players. Dimi has about a 700 gold lead over Axioz, and Adapting has a 700 gold lead over Repikas. I mean, those are pretty massive leads only 7 minutes into the game.
And Repi for me for the jungle for Cringe Crew, he's been known for this before, is Axioz body blocking Dimi there, and instead he ate a lot of free poke, and now with Adapting coming over, he doesn't recognize it until it's too late. The Dragon Execute comes off and Axioz is dead. He couldn't even get on his horse.
I don't know if he was trying to get on his horse or not, but he was going to die there almost 100% of the time. No one from Cringe Crew was close enough. Maybe he could have relied on Repi, but instead he doesn't get it off, so he still saves the cooldown at least, and he does have teleport up when he spawns.
Adapting is one of the very few Kuang junglers that actually uses the whole stealth of the illusion to its maximum potential to close the gap as much as possible. He activates it very early in the jungle and runs with it during stealth to get as close as he can and finds the burst, which surprises the target a lot more. Plays it a lot like a Loki player would.
And that, well, yeah, that's the thing, right? All the stealth mechanics in the game have very loud audio cues, so you know something's going on. Loki on the vanish is like the poof. Circuit as
Say
well.
that again?
Is the poof?
The poof? Is that what it is?
The poof.
It sounds the poof.
The poof.
Okay. I don't think that's how it sounds.
Circuit has the... I don't know what the Circuit sound is. I can't even pretend to match that. And then, obviously, as well, Adapting there with the water illusion. So he makes sure that Axioz is out of audio range, and then he just kind of says, I hate you.
Why'd you hate me?
Because you're looking at me and you're just throwing me off even more.
I wasn't throwing you off. I was just asking. You said it poof, and I was like, what? Poof.
Have you never heard poof?
Well, not for Loki's vanish sound, it's not. Axioz this time, though, will use cavalry charge when Dimi goes aggressive. He recognizes Adapting was in tow there. And going back to what I was about to say about Repikas, he plays with his heart on his sleeve, I want to say. Normally, if he gets ahead, he's fantastic, but when he starts to fall behind, you can really see him struggling. Talking about struggling, Shaggyshenk 1v1 emilitoo, but guess what? The support's going to influence it, and emilitoo wants to get out of dodge, but the World Weaver denies it. Shaggyshenk, that was a straight 1v1.
That was Shaggyshenk also knowing the damage of the character. He puts himself away from emilitoo, who's going to be able to roll after. Right-hand side, though, Tier 2 getting pressured, and Axioz is going to die once again under his tower. You could see his ult was forced earlier, and this is a weekend game, right? Just camping the solo lane.
Has been started by Cringe Crew. They're trying to respond here. Round the back comes Raffer, looking for the big man, belly flop. Intoxicate Goblin is going to go soon. Is he going to get there soon enough? The answer is no. The Gold Fury, oh, he went that way.
No, it goes to Cringe Crew, so they're going to be able to close the gap with the rotations coming in. And Repikas forced under tower. Kero's going to fall there, and you can see Yammyn actually portaling into the tower, but it's not going to be enough damage to finish anyone off. He was looking for Repi. He knew he was in kill range, but he was way too far back there. And now Panthera, they lose the Gold Fury. They pick up another kill here, and it seems like they're about to siege.
I'm a little surprised Panthera didn't just cut the losses, send Raffer in to try and steal the gold, but meanwhile have the two members that were in the right-hand side take the Tier 2 tower, which would have evened up the gold.
I think they were looking for the team fight more than anything, right? They were like, even if we get Gold Fury stolen away from us, potentially killing 2 or 3 members and being able to take towers off of that in addition is better than simply taking a Tier 2, conceding Gold Fury and the fight.
Well, still 5-1 gold lead is still in favor of Panthera. Speed buff given over to Adapting one more time, and now Dimi's going to get his blue as Raffer. Look at the red buff, wait for Yammyn to respawn to soak the experience, or at least emilitoo, who's making the rotation at level 12, has his second relic available now.
And Repikas also still not level 12. He's so far behind Adapting. Even with that Gold Fury, he's still 900 behind. You can see he's just finished Jotun's Wrath, whereas Adapting, he's already 3 items deep. He's got his Shoes of the Magi, he's got his Dynasty Plate Helm, and he already has a Polynomicon. This is only 11 minutes.
emilZy might be looking for some aggression on that left-hand side, but he just rotates into lane instead for a straight-up 2-on-2, usual Hunter support combination. And once again, Adapting, Soaking XP in the mid lane. Got that Polynomicon finished now, so a little bit more bang for your buck when he uses these abilities.
I mean, he has 25 flat pen as well, a little bit of physical protection from the Dynasty Plate Helm. I mean, Adapting right now is in a really good spot damage-wise.
Well, that ward that you see Cringe Crew right in front of Yammyn and adapting there, it was spotted out by them because they were clearly in vision, but they wanted to keep an eye on the rotations coming out from those two and just see which direction they go to on these rotations.
Axioz is really pushed up.
And now he's going to have to wait because he realizes that everybody's missing.
I was like,
again.
what is he doing?
To be fair, he's been focused a lot this game. And like you said, this is very weak.
At this point, he just needs to sit under his tier 2.
Wow.
Reppy to the sky. He's got EmilZy on top of him as well. He's not going to find the hit onto adapting. There's the water illusion, and a nice stun forces purification.
But the purification also absorbs the World Weaver stun too,
Just
so
barely.
he does get out of danger. And the through space and time from Yammyn was good. Now, Dimi, though, trying to create a bit of a zone and put some pressure back on this enemy team. And they may, Panthera, turn this one themselves and find a blue buff here.
I mean, at least a fight here. They're trying to bait Cringe Crew in. Middle lane, Kero going to get dropped down. Intoxicate is good. And
Rama is in the sky. The snipe. One. Second one missed. Third one misses too. emilitoo just a little bit off the mark, trying to catch Adapting's kills.
Look at Yammyn, though. He's doing it again. He's tower diving. He's trying to find Kero. It's not going to be on the mark, and Kero will continue to stay alive under this tower, but it's not easy for him. He's getting pressured from all around. Like the mid, he's getting pressured from the jungle and then from behind. Yammyn's getting very low.
Yes, he is, but Adapting managed to swing in and finally pick up Kero. Now EmilZy alone, isolated in mid lane. The execute's going to go through. The dragon is unleashed, and Adapting credited for 2 kills back to back.
Looking around, trying to find where everyone is, but they're just under him. Shaggyshenk there to defend the tower. It doesn't look like Panthera are going to get it, but I mean, Dimi has just been pushing Axioz out once again. I mean, look at this damage, right? So just before the last fight broke out, Adapting was at 3K. Dimi was at 75, I think. He's doing so much poke damage, and while not all of it has resulted in kills, it's just put so much pressure onto the solo lane, and Axioz,
and constantly
he doesn't have enough mana for ult here if Dimi
steal away the blue buff
damage.
And constantly keep making him spam the convictions to keep himself sustained. Dimi, though, not going to overextend too much there. He's worried about a rotation coming out. He has to be careful of Repikas being around. Luckily, though, he is on the other side of the map, but the tier 2 being pressured again.
It's just, he's forced to teleport to his tier 2 at only 13 minutes, and he's just been stuck there. And because of that, this has opened up the jungle as well for Panthera to steal away. They're looking at speed buff right now. Reppy doesn't want to let it go for free, and it's going to be grabbed.
Dimi in trouble, has to use his ultimate. Narrow rotation from EmilZy. May look towards RaFfer here. Doesn't have a flop available. They should be calling that out. Cavalry charge has been used. The taunt is good. The stun is better. The World Weaver on top of that confirms the kill. RaFfer falls for the first time this game, and Cringe Crew's second kill.
Repikas not wanting to come down on Dimi, who's 3 levels ahead of him. And you can see Cringe Crew, they're not actually fighting power and team fighting wise, they've been getting destroyed, but they've been able to stay relatively even in farm, and that gold theory has helped them. Right now, only 3K separating the teams. 14 minutes, that's decent now.
They're trying to force tier 1.
Take this tower, could be good.
If they can find the tier 1 hits, extra gold to lower it down, but Dimi's coming around from one side. Meanwhile, emilitoo on the left with Yammyn. They're trying to wait for Cringe Crew to go in for this, but now it looks like Panthera just gave the game away. emilitoo's like, nope, they're not going to go for it, so let's just force the fight anyway.
And he's actually taunted out of his dash in a lot of trouble, and you can see he's going to take to this guy. Looking for the snipes. 1, 2, is the third going to connect? It won't, but in the meantime, Adapting knocks EmilZy into there, just trying to slow him down, but he managed to get out anyway, and Cringe Crew successfully escaped.
I like what Panthera tried to do there, though, in the end. They went for Axioz. As soon as the conviction was used, they knew he had no healing left to himself, so they went all in on it and tried to find the kill. emilitoo just off the mark. But now the goal for being looked at by both teams. Cringe Crew recognized with Axioz being back. Panthera may go that option, but Cringe Crew, well, the rest of the team healthy enough to be able to sustain and wait around to defend. But RaFfer looking for pressure on emilZy, going to force him to dash away.
And you saw 1 hit go onto that ward. Neither are sentries right now, though. So Yammyn just throwing out poke. Gold Fury has been started up. Shaggyshenk and Reppy. Reppy's in the sky, but he went pretty early.
He has gone early. He's been noticed immediately and missed off the mark, as is the ultimate from emilZy too, so not that much damage in. RaFfer reinitiating there with the Intoxicate through space and time, only hits emilZy, but the zone has been created as Axioz had to use a cavalry charge. He's eating a lot of poke for free. RaFfer still giving chase.
And Adapting, coming around the corner as well. He has Blink online, but doesn't elect to use it. Instead, the team's going to be chasing out Kero, who is left alone, trying to get out.
And RaFfer is busy keeping the rest of the team at bay at the moment. But Kero, with his amazing soul, able to juke around the disapparate, keep himself alive, but now emilitoo, he's out of position.
Forced to actually burn his purification, surrounded by 5. That was a very dangerous move, but here comes Adapting. He actually gets taunted away from Axioz, who was in range for that execute, and Yammyn follows up with a lot of damage from an unstable vortex.
Dangerous move. That's what Adapting did too, though, with the blink, looking for the pickup and potential kill, but they're not going to find it. Panthera have to return to base here, and if Cringe Crew can notice this, they should be looking for the goal fury.
Cringe Crew are playing really well from behind right now. You can see the teleport coming in from Dimi. He doesn't want to allow Cringe Crew to get too much off of this, and I think they're going to be forced to back off.
Well, the sustain coming out from Axioz is going to start making an impact with the convictions now. 4 members grouped up. Shaggy rotating in as well to make it a 5 there. Meditation instantly used as well by Axioz just to give them all full mana. And Dimi realizing that, he says, okay, I'll come to the tier 1 tower and we'll fight from our side.
It's just the sustain battle right now. Dimi moves forward. EmilZy taking the tower, taking so much poke. CC'd under it, 1 hit away, and Dimi should be able to pick him up. Repi to the sky, but the question is, who's he going to come down on? Hits iRaffer, but under tower while his
Dimi got a double so far, and Dimi's chasing onto Shaggy too. Turns around, looks for Repi, who has to jump away. And that whole fight was realistically Dimi finding 2 kills when the rest of the team were looking for the pick onto Yammyn.
And Axioz getting really scared there. This is, I mean, he's so pressured out. He is incredibly fearful right now. You could see him just have no hesitation in burning his ult.
Intoxicate used just to burst it down a little bit quicker. Repi's trying to get here to do something. Too late. Purification used as well by him. Now he's jumped to the hammer. Repi doesn't have an ultimate here to get away, and Adapting's still giving chase. Changes his mind though, but he does still get a EmilZy's ult.
This is where things are probably going to start to fall apart for Cringe Crew right now. 17 minutes in, it's a 4K gold lead for Panthera. They've been at this mark for quite some time. It was 3K earlier on, but we're really starting to see Cringe Crew get sloppy. They are able to find a couple picks off of Panthera players going way over aggressive. emilitoo dashing into 3, getting taunted away. That's surrounded by 4, but outside of that,
Tier 1 tower mid was just very, very strange from Cringe Crew. They grouped up for it. They didn't pressure it enough. They allowed Panthera to group up, reposition, and then they take a fight where Panthera can fight back, and it means that Panthera just continue pushing forward.
A lot of times you'll see teams do that where if, say, Panthera was doing an objective, they would just group up it and take something on the other side of the map. But, I mean, Panthera were right there in their face and multiple levels ahead. They still took the fight. Repi right now 3 levels down. Axioz is 4 levels down. He's level 14 as a soul laner, and we're 18 minutes into the game.
Rough situation for Cringe Crew to be in. They're not completely out of going to DreamHack, though. I just want to clear that one up right now for you all at home. Cringe Crew is still in a pretty good position at the moment. They've already found themselves 14 wins this season, and their opponents, Hungry for More, they're on 15 wins. So they would have to rely on Hungry for More dropping games potentially, and them still winning their last games.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Leftovers have not been looking too good recently. Axioz, once again, very pushed up in this lane, has his ult burned, and Yammyn with adapting, waiting around into the corner, but no pick is going to happen just yet. Axioz just retreats.
But it just shows how little of a mistake you can make against Panthera, because they will take absolutely a chunk out of your game, out of your gold lead, out of your experience, and turn it around. Dimi being focused by Repi here, but not too worried is Dimi. He's just going to jump away nicely and actually return some damage back to Axioz, so it works out even, and then continue to poke.
But I mean, Dimi, he's keeping 2 people on Cringe Crew busy. That means they're not going to be able to take a fight elsewhere. You can see Shaggyshenk actually out-dueling emilitoo at the time, but adapting was waiting around the corner.
Win. Gets Sanctuary and the ult and not even care about it. Raffer, though, 1v1. Come at me, son. Now he's a 2v1. Will Weaver comes through. Still not dead. It is Raffer. He's still alive. The portal will get him out. And Adapting gets the clean-up kill on Kero.
Raffer there, popping his meditation at the absolute perfect time. Dimi was losing in his 1v2, but he's able to get into Somersault Cloud, and he's going to be fine. And now you could see Panthera starting to back off a little bit. Cringe Crew not giving up just yet. They're still only 4,000 behind.
Yammyn in awkward position, has to Purify to get through his portal and away. And my oh my, that was a critical moment, because that wall was near perfect from Repi.
If he would have been locked on the other side, that would have been so bad for Yammyn. He would have been almost guaranteed dead. His ultimate wasn't up, and that would have been really hard for Panthera. Adapting, though, going to go aggressive on a Shaggy, the only person with kills,
Shaggy
realistically.
I love what Shaggy did there. He was very patient, but I like what Adapting did too. Unfortunately, though, he got hit by the slow from the backflip, which stopped him from being able to continue his aggression.
And now Panthera, they're grouping up in the middle lane, but Cringe Crew, they're just going to back off. It seems like they're conceding this tower. The wave's coming through right now, and Adapting's here. It's a 5-man group up, and no way Cringe Crew can defend this.
Raffer will tank it. emilitoo will start dealing damage. Minions come in, removing the back tower protections as well, so that will fall down for a 300 gold to each member of Panthera.
In damage charts, I mean, Dimi, 17,000. He has just been poking and poking and poking and poking. The only 2 players with kill on Panthera are Dimi and Adapting, and that's because Adapting pulled off the weakened strategy, the old AFK strategy, where it was just camp the soul lane and get them ahead. They both got massively ahead of their individual opponents, and from that have been just able to snowball.
EmilZy, actually teleport coming out from Axioz here to the left-hand side. They were worried about pressure here, that Axioz just teleported all the way over. And I think if Panthera noticed that, Dimi could actually find that tier 2 tower and right, and I think that's where we see Repikas having to go over there now.
And Dimi, he's just going to back off. Their buffs are spawning, and Repi was there just to make make sure that couldn't have been split push. But honestly, I don't see him being able to fight Dimi at all in that situation. I think he just dies.
Axioz is just too far behind now, and this is all the doing of what Adapting did at the start of the game, just constantly sitting there over and over again, keeping the pressure on, and now he's at a point adapting himself and Dimi, so they two could run away with the game alone.
I mean, yeah, he's 6-0-4 right now. He's got his Obsidian Shard. He's going to be working on his Rod of the Hood. He's about 1,000 gold short, which in the next couple minutes I expect him to pick up here. If he can have that online before the Gold Fury, it is so massive. I don't think he will, though. I think he'll probably be just short.
They're just trying to camp corners now and catch people on rotations, and emilZy's the one rotating again. And there was an old strategy that we saw of Epsilon last year, and emilZy was the first person to be hit by it.
I think he knew it. I think he knew it too, because you could see him. He's like swinging at the ward, then he backs off. He's like, "Is anyone here?" Then he goes to swing. Oh, there they come! Run! Just give up the
He's
sentry.
so used to it. He was the very first casualty that everybody noticed.
He was on
about
Ares.
Well, same group up from Panthera again on the left-hand tower now. Cringe Crew had a little bit better of a response here from the team, but they don't recognize they can stop it in time. Tier 1 tower falls the way of Panthera again. And Panthera start grouping towards the Gold Fury area.
And they're going to be looking for a pick here. And Repikas, he's in trouble, going to be knocked up, bursted. Sanctuary is good for now. And it looks like he might be able to get out unless emilitoo could find the snipes, and he's just short.
Every time. Poor emilitoo. We've got to stop tuning in with him. He's going to get so upset. And still, Repikas is alive as iRaffer was trying to swing around the back and pick up the kill for him. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is being focused. They're all trying to peel for Repikas. Kero in trouble on the back, but he's done a good job of surviving. Dimi is going to fall in trade, though, and make it a 1-for-1 mid for solo.
And emilitoo going very deep, rolls forward, needs one more auto attack on a Shaggyshenk, but the Sanctuary is good for now. Still finds it straight through EmilZy, and now Axioz trying to respond, but it's just him and EmilZy, and he simply doesn't have the damage. Repikas coming out of the base, and iRaffer could be in trouble here.
No, he'll be okay. The taunt comes out, but in the air was iRaffer to get away from it. Repi crashes in on the back. iRaffer out of the fight. emilitoo is in trouble here, but the portal's good from Yammyn. Got a good amount of damage off, as well as it made sure emilZy's dunk didn't actually do anything.
And Repikas probably would have teleported to his hammer there. He was able to just come shy of iRaffer. emilitoo incredibly low as well. That portal just saved 2 members of Panthera. But honestly, just Cringe Crew are still fighting very well. They lose Shaggy, they lose Kero, but managing to stay in it, and a lot of that's because Panthera, I wouldn't say they're sloppy, but they're getting very greedy for these kills.
Very aggressive and just trying to go over the top for it. emilitoo as well. I think, to be fair, emilitoo this game, he's probably more aggressive than in the wild, just because he's been missing a couple of his ultimates and he's getting annoyed that he's missing 3 kills.
Here's emilitoo, right? This guy he's always been incredibly skilled, but he is one of the most aggressive players we've ever seen. So funny enough, against Myrmidons last year, I asked him because he was just like sitting at the edge of the tower and died multiple times. I'm like, why did you do that? Gresham coming out.
1 second, I'm not sure where that Gold Fury went in the end, and it actually
Panthera
did go the way of Panthera. Still, though, with emilitoo as he picks up the kill on emilZy, rolls in, looking for Axioz as well. Slows coming out from adapting off the mark, though, doesn't manage to find it, but emilitoo, he's thinking about still going.
And you can see now this tier 2 going to be pressured, and emilitoo, just one of the most aggressive players ever. He actually was setting at Dardez's tower edge because Dardez spams taunts him in ranked, and he's like, I don't like that, so I just wanted to kill him repeatedly.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Repikas is in the sky right now. Repikas dunks it onto 2. Berserker Barrage was on the mark, but it's not a whole lot of damage. Tell you what is a whole lot of damage. Adapting, going into Dragon Form, deleting the healer Axioz. iRaffer got stuck under the tower and fall to Kero, as Adapting finally picks up Kero in trade. Shaggy falls as well. Panthera are running away with this.
17-5 in kills, 25 minutes into the match, and Panthera have a 10k gold lead. emilZy, the last man standing right now, going to try and defend his Phoenix. Does find a taunt here, but I mean, the Phoenix is not targeting the player he's looking for, and he's actually going to be stunned out just shy of the fountain. He will be fine, but the Phoenix is going to fall.
The Phoenix will fall down now. And now we're looking at a situation here as well for Cringe Crew, where their next opposition, you know, they've got to have to find the wins against Torpedo.
They have to. And they have to rely on Hunger for More.
And then they have to rely on Hunger for More
Hunger for More actually plays before. So these are the tomorrow matches. It's going to be Hunger for More versus Leftovers to open the match. And if Hunger for More 2-0, Cringe Crew are out. However, if they drop at least a single if they drop 1 game, then that means Cringe Crew, if they 2-0, will force a tiebreaker on Monday evening.
Hunger for More's destiny will be in their own hands unless Cringe Crew can pull something out of the bag here. 25 minutes in. Fire Giant does still stand, however, and Cringe Crew still have at least 2 Phoenixes remaining and a tier 2 tower, so it's not completely over just yet. It's just going to be a very difficult ask against the world champions.
I mean, they've been hanging in for so long, but it's getting to the point where I don't think they're going to be able to hang anymore. A lot of it's been, you know, Panthera over-aggressing, getting picked off a little bit, and Repikas honestly surviving in a lot of fights that he shouldn't. He has been so slippery and hard for Panthera to lock down.
Dimi just 2v1 and saw the blue buff away from Cringe Crew, and they couldn't stop him, and he just walked back towards his jungle and his teammates who are all around this fire giant now, setting up for it, looking for a potential pick to just be able to siege it immediately with no real threat.
Kero needs to get... Oh,
Elliot's in the sky.
Wow,
They found the pick. They found the pick. That's what it was.
So Kero needs to not die one, and then two, get Rod of Tahuti online ASAP, because him and Shaggy are really the only damage sources coming out of Cringe Crew. You can see Axioz, because he's been pressured out so much, has gone entirely defensive. He does have a good amount of CDR and magical protection, but that just means emilitoo and Dimi are going to be shredding through him.
Dimi playing knock over the bowling pins one at a time there and get away to safety one more time. I mean, the funny thing about the Kero pick of Sol here for Cringe Crew, I think they wanted him to give him something safe because he was getting focused game on a Zeus. They give him Sol, and they focused him even more.
He's got 7 deaths, and I mean, it's been really rough for him. Axioz is going to try and defend this Fire Giant, and this is a good attempt. He's going to come down, and Fire Giant goes the way of Panthera.
Got it, and there's another death with Axioz falling. The last remaining members of Cringe Crew have to fall back. Speed buffs available, adapted immediately, like a typical jungler does. His eyes immediately turn to the left, find it, while the rest of his team focus on the tier 2 tower.
And it's going to fall here. Only 1 tower remains for Cringe Crew, adapting, trying to take the portal, but Yammyn takes it instead. And now the Phoenix, it's going to get pressured out here. iRaffer actually taking a fair amount of poke before emilitoo's able to swing on it.
And now they're looking for a poke onto EmilZy, who's very, very low, trying to get away. He will get away. Sanctuary comes out from Kero. Kero saved by the Sanctuary one more time. There turns it around in the end with a supernova. Picks up adapting, emilitoo overextended. Another death on Cringe Crew. Pick up 2. They're looking for 3.
And now Repikas in a lot of trouble. He's going to be able to live forward now. Dimi fighting on the front line. iRaffer around, and iRaffer going to find the return bounce, and Shaggyshenk's going to fall. Panthera are the world champions for a reason. iRaffer going to get taunted out, and Kero finds the kills, but a nice return from iRaffer and Dimi there.
Silly mistakes coming out from Panthera there. They're kind of having a bit of fun with this towards the end, but it could come back to punish them as Cringe Crew have a bit of an opportunity here. Respawn times is starting to get larger, and they can't keep doing this. He's going to allow Cringe Crew, I was going to say to save that Phoenix in left, but I think he just fell again.
Oh, Yammyn also can't get up to the wall. EmilZy going to taunt him out. Dimi here is the last alive, chased under his tier 2. Kero's around, but it looks like it's going to be conceded, and that Phoenix somehow lived. Panthera just playing very sloppy and over-aggressive here in this game.
So tier 1, maybe a tier 2 as well, then look to the Gold Fury as well. Gold lead will start to decrease, and Cringe Crew will climb a little bit more here. And this is all just because Panthera went all in looking for kills.
And Axioz here, he's going to try and heal up, but Dimi's going to be chasing him out. He's actually picked up a Titan's Bane as his last item, and you can see that doing a lot of damage here against Axioz, but he manages to get out.
I think the tier 2 choice by Cringe Crew was a mistake there. They should have gone straight to the Gold Fury and picked that one up for free. Instead, trying to go for the tier 2, Dimi had teleport available, and it turned.
And, I mean, Axioz almost died there as well. You could actually see he was under tower while the rest of his team was on full retreat, and Dimi just locked him under.
Axioz is still level 18. He's still not level 20 in this game at 29.
He has not had a good game, and honestly, I think a lot of it's mental pressure. I mean, you need to win a game against Panthera, and you were camped for 2 early deaths, and from there, there's just been so many positioning errors. He's been scared the second he sees damage coming forward. He just ults, but right now, I mean, Cringe Crew, they still have a chance in this game.
Especially if Panthera keep diving the Phoenixes the way they did. The left-hand Phoenix has respawned, though, so no more fire minions coming. But Panthera, you can see, are all groups on this left-hand side. They're not going to let that stand there for long without being down. With a fire minion wave joining them as well, it's going to be a very difficult defense of this left Phoenix for Cringe Crew if they choose to take it on.
Axioz is in the right-hand jungle as well. He's going to be backing to base. He should be there to defend, but a little bit worried at first. And Shaggyshenk right now, level 20. Not full build just yet, but the most damage on his team. He's been kind of the shining light here.
Intoxicate comes out through space and time, hits 2, but not a lot of damage comes out. Adapting gets Kero as Axioz is on the cavalry charge trying to stun. Phoenix falls, Repikas off the mark with his ult, and now goes through the portal and deleted by Yammyn.
This is a much cleaner version of Panthera, and you can see 3 members left. The knock-up on a Shaggyshenk in his own fountain. iRaffer's going to be taunted as well, but I mean, this could just be kills diving the fountain. They actually managed to stay alive, and Panthera...
Well, Dimi's the one that's focusing on the Phoenix, which is the good news. The bad news is he had no minions to really do it there. So Panthera have to fall back another time and give Cringe Crew another chance of finding a game.
They're giving them...
Oh, so many chances.
So many chances. They
They're
are
not
just
big chances, but the
diving and just Cringe Crew's doing a really good job of hanging on right now. You can see starting to work onto their full builds. Rod of Tahuti is now online for Kero. That's a big one for me because Kero, his damage needs to be more impactful in these team fights. They haven't been so far.
I did see that, but I've not mentioned it. Rod of Asclepius on Bacchus.
Did he go it again?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mobility, power.
His meditation's going to be healing for
and his
more.
med heals more. And his team heals more too.
This is a legit strat from Raffer.
We saw Devios do it on Hades yesterday as well.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense because
you
have a heal in your kit, and
it's
it
true.
is pretty significant when you're looking to siege.
But the stats are not that bad on that little item, and I think we'll see a little bit more of it as time goes on.
I mean, he doesn't need any more protections. Obviously, when you fountain dive, you probably do. But right there, I mean, just having the bonus health and the movement speed, that's good enough. And then increasing your heal on meditation, it could save a life.
So coming on to 32 minutes now. The Fire Giant due to spawn again in 20 seconds. And I think this is the last hurrah for Cringe Crew to have a shot here. Panthera gave him a window.
I think after that second one, I think Panthera are going to buckle down now. I don't think they're going to be looking to dive too deep into anything here. They want to close out this game. They don't want to make it last too much longer because if they give Cringe Crew one more chance, that's when the full builds come out.
I don't know. I mean, maybe emilitoo will start going aggressive again, realizing what I said about adapting in his record, but Adapting's got 11 kills.
Yeah, he's not catching that.
He ain't catching it in one more set to go in this last. There's not a chance. Dimi, zone duty once more, trying to keep him at bay. There's Repi in the sky. It's been noticed, so the Fire Giant is reset.
I'm really surprised that Cringe Crew are trying to fight this right now. Fire Giant was reset, and Repikas' ult is completely neutralized. Kero's away from the team. You can see Yammyn trying to throw out some poke, but Cringe Crew, I mean, they were able to defend their Phoenixes off of Panthera's over-aggression here, but now they're caught in the jungle.
They can't stop the belly flop. Kero picks up one. Adapting was the one that finds the kill for that, I should say. Axioz has to run away. The wall is great from Repi, though, but Dimi isolates Shaggyshenk and picks him up as the rest of Panthera keep Cringe Crew at bay.
Yeah, it's just the decision to defend Fire Giant there, I think, was simply just wrong. There is too much of a risk of you getting aggressed on, especially with Yammyn's ult, and that wasn't even the case. It just happened to be adapted going in, finding a burst, and then you can't escape fast enough, right? There's no fountain right behind you, and the team got separated and picked apart. There's the middle Phoenix, and here's going to be the final Phoenix, knocked down by Panthera. 3 players left to defend.
Still looking for a little bit more aggression, but if you are a Panthera fan, you'll be happy because this is the World Champions going at Worlds as the #1 seed. Meanwhile, if you're a Hungry for More fan, you'll have a Cheshire grin on your face right now, knowing the boys of Hungry for More, they have the opportunity. The destiny will be in their own hands. And Cringe Crew, after losing 2-0 to Panthera here, well, they've got to hope that their boys of leftovers can do something to deal with Hungry for More.
Ataraxia is so happy right now. Because now all he needs is 2 more wins. Honestly, Cringe Crew did put up a pretty good fight. Looking at Game 1, Game 2 is definitely Panthera being sloppy more than anything. But Panthera coming in as your first seed into DreamHack, 23-3. They still do have a match against Leftovers, and that's going to be Monday. Paradigm as well, coming in at 20-8 currently. They're done with their split, guaranteed second seed, and it's all up to HFM and Cringe Crew.
If Hungry for More 2-0, they will go to DreamHack. If they take one game, well, it all depends how Cringe Crew do in their set, and we'll keep you updated on that all day tomorrow. But back to this game, and who do you want to talk about?
Probably Adapting. I mean, we haven't really seen too much of him, like as a shining star that we saw in the fall split.
He's been quite quiet.
He's been quite quiet.
Consistent, but quiet.
This series, he really showed up.
And Thor's back in action. I think he's starting to find love with the speed buff one more time now that it's back in the game, as well as, making these rotations and camping solo lane. This was something that when the speed buff was a thing, that was one of the major strategies.
This is just a strategy we haven't really seen. So funny enough, Panthera used to run that same strategy where Adapting would gank at level 3 and 4 all the way in the summer split and early fall, but then they stopped doing it so much. And Adapting bringing it out here in this second game, and it was just nothing Axioz was used to.
Just a good performance from Panthera again today. I say it's a good performance. It was a little bit messy in places, which I can understand when the pressure's off as much as it has been for them.
I think that's it. They were just going for flashy plays.
I mean, they qualified in week 8. Week 9, they qualified as first seed. Coming into week 10, they're just like, okay.
Like the beginning of week 9, too. That's got to feel so good, just knowing you're guaranteed first seed that early on.
And then on top of that, we've got a few more things for you. There is a Janus skin that you guys can pick up this weekend if you head over to Facebook, esports.smitegame.com/Facebook, and receive a free Keymaster Janus skin. Just let us know what platform you play on over there, and we'll get you a nice little skin for yourself as well. Not only that, we do also have a currently some clothing going on sale, a real big sale as well.
Live BNFD up to 75% off on all their hats, hoodies, all their Smite gear. So go and get yourself prepared for DreamHack. Whether you're going there or you're sitting at home watching it, you know, you can watch in some Roman clothing.
And if you are going and you want to go, the tickets are still on sale over at dreamhack.se right now. You can pick up some tickets to come and attend the event. You'll see 9 teams from Smite from around the world.
I'm so excited. I want China to upset someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but I want them to find some. I want them to find some set.
I want China to win.
Everything.
Just so down
come
for
out.
China winning.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Maker's going to be coming out. We missed him in season 1 here, so
Maker. Keep
Meet
an eye
your
for Maker in China. But that's it for the end of today. Friday has been a pretty good day over in Europe, and we'll continue things again tomorrow. Obviously, we'll find out who will go to DreamHack in the 3rd place of Europe. We took an extra day than expected. Well, some of us thought anyway. Can Hungry for More manage to clinch tomorrow, or will it come down to Cringe Crew? Find all that out tomorrow. From everyone at hi-rez Studios, thank you so much for tuning in, and of course, wish Peckies a wonderful day.